Well, if you're familiar with Vancouver, you've probably heard of or maybe even crossed the Pattullo Bridge in Westminster. Ever wondered where the name comes from? Well, it's named after the 22nd Premier of BC. Veronica Cooper has more.
This is the winter coat for Duff Pattullo's daughter Doris, and she wore it on the streets of Prince Rupert about 1910.
Donated to the BC Archives from the family of Thomas Dufferin Pattullo.
Everybody called him Duff. He's the 22nd Premier of British Columbia.
Pattullo was born in Woodstock, Ontario in 1873. In 1897, he headed west as secretary to the Gold Commissioner for the Yukon.
He was wheeling and dealing and left the Gold Commissioner and went into real estate and business and was very successful.
In 1906, Pattullo moved his family from the Yukon to Prince Rupert.
He became alderman, then he became mayor, and then he was elected the member of the legislature for Prince Rupert.
Pattullo served until 1928, when his government was defeated. His party voted him leader of the opposition, and in 1933, in the middle of the Great Depression, Pattullo became Premier of British Columbia.
He hosted President Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt when they stopped in Victoria. He hosted the King and Queen on their pre-World War tour in 1939. His scheme for the Depression was building an infrastructure.
In symmetry and proportion, it is exceedingly pleasing to the eye and indeed a structure of beauty.
Including BC's biggest construction project during the Depression, a bridge across the Fraser River at New Westminster.
It was a $4 million project in 1936 dollars, and it was completed in 1 year. It employed hundreds of people. It was seen as an engineering masterpiece. The people of New Westminster gave this tray to the Premier in celebration of opening the Pattullo Bridge. We got that from his granddaughter.
Along with his appointment book, just a few meetings each day until September 1939.
On the 3rd of September, Britain declared war, and Canada didn't follow until 7 days later. And so when you open his appointment book, suddenly you see every civil servant in government coming in, all the heads are coming in for 5-minute meetings over and over and over again. And you just get a sense from this book of the whirlwind in the week before Canada declared war.
Hammond is grateful to Pattullo's family for these donations.
Our collections are vast in the archives in terms of our archival records, but those are the ones that I'm really very proud of and to have in our collection.
This Week in History, brought to you by the Royal BC Museum, bringing British Columbia's stories together.